Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M53-55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG, and this one's located on the north spawn of Murovanka under the command of DementedBunny. Yes, we featured one of her replays recently. She was in the M44, and this time she's in the M55. And I know that's an M55 because the barrel does not extend over the front of the vehicle, and that means it's the 8-inch howitzer. Okay, battle has started, and DementedBunny's pulling back into the trees just a little bit from the spawn point, and is now aiming at the enemy. Now, the M55 is based on the chassis of the M47 tank. It's one of the few Artys that actually has a turret which can swivel, gives it a wide field of fire. That's why you can see the firing arc is quite big. She's aiming towards the enemy area and looking for trees falling, because that might give her a clue to where the enemy Arty is located. She's seen a fallen tree and fires around it. She did actually knock down a tree of her own, but falling trees are very good clues to where the enemy is, and I can tell you that in 2 replays I've actually killed an enemy Arty within 30 seconds of the start of a game, simply because they knocked a tree down. Okay, Centurion 7-1 in the Magic Forest. It's a Tier 9 medium, and of course an 8-inch shell will do a lot of damage. She's loaded, ready to go. Going for an FP4202 instead, fires a round in, and she gets a splash for 266 and a nice bit of stun. Okay, we've got a Super Pershing, T26E4. This is a Tier 9 game. She is top tier Arty, which puts the onus on the Arty to support the team, because obviously top tier vehicles, they need to work harder. But she's found another target. In fact, it's a pair of targets. What here is an Oho and a Lurva. In fact, up here we've got even more targets grouping together. And of course, when tanks group together like that, you can get more damage than one. That's a 2 for that. She's got 489 hit points of damage off the T30 and 112 off the 112. And she stunned both of them. It really is a no-brainer to actually go for targets which are forming a line, because you're more than likely going to stun all of them at the same time, and if one shell misses one tank, or the RNG's not good, then you actually might hit one of the other ones behind him. And I've seen tanks wiped out very quickly by forming a line like that. There she goes again. She's hit 3 tanks with one shot. 385 off the Lurva, 138 off the T30, and she also hit the ISM for 82 hit points. Now, of course, firing at heavy tanks means that you're probably going to do less damage because they've got more armour. But if they line up alongside tank destroyers, and of course T30 is a tank destroyer, but really was a heavy tank in reality when it was originally built, you're certainly going to do a lot of damage. Okay, they're lining up again. She fires a round in, and oh, another beautiful one when she hits 3 tanks with one shot. DementedBunny is very good at doing this, and she's providing fantastic support for her team every time she fires a shot in like that. The Lurva's gone, taken out by our Wizzy 1201 FT, or fake tank as Jingles calls it. Now that 112 is going YOLO, and that might not be a very good idea. DementedBunny's following the ISM, and she splashes both of them there. The shell just landed slightly to the right of them. Now the output damage from these shells is 1050. It's very, very high. It is a sizable amount of HE that's going at them. We do have premium rounds as well. DementedBunny has 6 of them at the moment, but she's not using them because standard HE is doing the job perfectly well. Oh, our defender went down. He was taken out by a Ferdinand in the back, and you can see that Ferdinand there. And Jazz's next shot does more damage. 415 hit points against the ISM and 168 against the OHO. She's doing incredibly well here. Of course, I mentioned DementedBunny's real name actually at that moment. I do apologise to her for that. Get kind of caught up in this sometimes. And the ISM and OHO are very low health now. They're going to get killed if they get hit in the next round. And DementedBunny fights it. She gets the first kill. It's an OHO, 126. The ISM is very low as well. And that Ferdinand's moving up, and he hasn't got very good armour. Okay, they're forming a line again. And the Ferdinand is very low on health now, so he could easily be taken out of the game very shortly. 6 seconds to go. That's one of the big things about Arty playing. You need patience. If you haven't got patience, you really can't play Arty. Fires a round in and, well, only 10 hit points off the T-30. But she did stun 2 of the tanks there, so that's helpful. The Object 263 came over that bridge line. He's taken out the IS-6. And DementedBunny's marked him as next target. Using her T-key, she tells everyone that's the target I'm going to go for next. And puts gigantic arrows pointing down over the target. Oh, our Jagdtiger got wiped out by that 263 again. So he's now a priority target, so he's taken out 2 of our team very, very quickly. She fires around in, and she gets a nice hit there. A direct hit for 455. Very useful. He's now down to 122 hit points. He is a one-shot for most of the team, but there's only a Wizzy 120 up there, and a Centurion. The Centurion claims the kill. Now, I wonder if that Centurion's going to get the ISM. Our team have come around from the Magic Forest. The ISM's being wiped out. The T-30 is next. Jazzy's almost loaded. Oh, T-30 is killed just as she fires. So her shell was wasted, but that was the last enemy. So she's won the game. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's a first class tanker for DementedBunny in the M53, M55. She also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, crew incapacitations or module damage, and that she got 11 in that one. But best of all, she picked up a Confederate, and I always say to Arty players, a Confederate medal shows that you were hitting as many of the enemies as you could to help your team to win, because the more damage you do to more tanks, the more likely your teammates are going to get the kills. And a Confederate is proof that you were hitting the enemy hard, but you just weren't getting the kills to get the Top Gun or the other awards. But well done for getting a Confederate, and a win 8 for that game, 3-3-7-2. So Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team scores. Well, there you go. Look at that. Right at the top of the table, she managed to get 3,248 and was the highest scorer on damage on her team. But the highest scorer in the game overall was that Object 263, who was very, very aggressive. Went over that ridge line very quickly to try and take out our tanks close hand face-to-face. He got 4,040 hit points of damage. And then the next high score was the Jagdtiger that the Object 263 took out. He got 2,797 hit points. And most of his shots were at the tanks that DementedBunny was actually firing at after she stunned them. When it came to kills, DementedBunny was actually quite a long way down the table. There was 2 tanks who managed to get 3 kills, the Scorpion G and the Object 263. DementedBunny only managed to get that 1 kill, that soul kill, the OHO. But it was still a good kill in terms of the fact that she whittled away all his health bit by bit, and then she finally took him out of the game. When it came to base XP, she was 3rd on the table. The Wizzy 1201 he managed to get 1,106 hit points. Then came the Super Pershing with 1,054, and finally we have DementedBunny with 989. But it was a good game nonetheless. If you're in the top 3, you've certainly been working hard. So let's have a look at detail. She fired 11 rounds during that game. She got 6 direct hits, no penetrations though, 20 splash damage as well, and damage of 3,248 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. I should have mentioned actually, splash damage, 20 splash damage off 11 shells, shows that she was hitting more than one tank at a time every time she fired, because she was hitting in some cases 2 or 3 tanks simultaneously, so that's why 20 splash damage hits. When it came to damage, she damaged 7 of the enemy and killed 1 of them, and so that's the 6 difference which got her the Confederate. And she did damage, stun assistance damage of 2,328 hit points off 19 stuns. On a premium count, she earned 54,177 credits, got 27,089 for completing the mission and events, and that brought up a total of 81,266. After resupply of ammunition, and these shells are expensive, she still walked away with 60,696 credits from that game. She got 1 bond for the Confederate, 1,483 XP, 742 for completing the mission and events, and her total takeaway was 2,225 experience points altogether. So a solid game there by DementedBunny, and I did like the fact that she did aim for the lines of tanks to get multiple hits at a time. It really does help your team. If you can hit more of them quickly, it will whittle them away and allow the rest of your team to get those kills that they need in order to end the game quickly. And as soon as the guys from the Magic Forest came around the back, it was all over basically. What DementedBunny did was hold them there, keep them in one place, and stun them into submission. And yeah, she did a really good job. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.